Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be letting AFL 23 predict the 2024 season of AFL. So this is going to be a run through of how everything goes, and it's going to predict how the season went. So let's get into it. Okay everyone, so this is where we are currently in the real life season. So currently the ladder is looking like Collingwood, Gold Coast, Port Adelaide, Fremantle, Sydney, Carlton, GWS and Melbourne in the top 8. So kind of like real life, but a few nominees in there, like Rio. So not too bad. Let's have a look at the stats so far. The most goals for the season is Jesse Hogan on 11, Todd Marshall on 8, with Jacob Van Ryan and Toby Green. That is. Most disposals for the season is Callum Mills from the Sydney Swans. So yeah, good start to the season. So after 5 rounds of the competition, this is currently how the ladder stands. Gold Coast on top, Sydney, Port, Freo, Essendon, Collingwood, St Kilda and Geelong currently how the ladder stands. Not too bad. Got the Doggies and LA Crows down the bottom of the table. Let's have a look at the stats. Most goals is Jacob Van Rooyen, Jesse Hogan and Todd Marshall, all on 15. Most disposals is Jack Viney on 164, closely followed by Adam Chara on 162 and Callum Mills on 160. So after 10 rounds of the competition, that's how the ladder currently stands. Collingwood on top, followed by Sydney, Port, Gold Coast, Carlton, Fremantle, Geelong and Essendon. Okay, let's see a few of the stats. Most goals, Max King has jumped up with 24, closely followed by Charlie Dixon, Jesse Hogan and Todd Marshall, all with 23. Most disposals, Jack Steele and Brad Crouch. Jack Steele with 1 on top. With 15 rounds completed in the season, this is currently how the ladder looks. In first we have Sydney Swans, Port Adelaide, Collingwood, Geelong, Carlton, St Kilda, Fremantle and Essendon. So look at the stats. Most goals is Josh Tracy I think, and Eric Hipwood and Jeremy Cameron all on 32, closely followed by Michael Frederick on 31. Most disposals is Brad Crouch in final 16. So after 20 rounds of the competition, this is how the ladder currently looks. We've got Sydney on top, followed by Collingwood, Port Adelaide, Carlton, Geelong, Melbourne, Essendon and St Kilda. Let's get into some stats. Most goals, Max King on 44, closely followed by Eric Hipwood on 43. And most disposals is Brad Crouch with 566. Okay. Coming into the last round of the competition, we'll do this game by game. We will have a look at how the ladder stands. So on top we have Sydney, followed by Collingwood, Geelong, Port Adelaide, Carlton, Melbourne, Essendon and Richmond. Let's have a look at the stats. Most goals is Max King on 53 with Eric Hipwood 5 behind on 48. And most disposals is Brad Crouch on 643. Okay. This last round. Melbourne and Collingwood. Melbourne will be wanting to get the win. Or well, this game doesn't really matter. Just hope, yeah, because if Collingwood lose, then they'll still be top 4, and if Melbourne win, then they can't go into top 4, or they can't drop out even if they do lose. So it doesn't matter. Let's have a look. So Collingwood win. Melbourne 88. Collingwood 100. Okay, so this game doesn't really matter for either team, so skip off this one. Next up, Hawthorn North Melbourne. Okay, doesn't matter. draw. Next up we've got Swans and Crows. This game doesn't really matter either. And the Crows get the win by 2 points away at Sydney. So get into the season for Crows. Here we've got Freo and Port. Port will be wanting to win to jump up to 3rd and guaranteeing themselves a spot in the top 4. And for Freo, it doesn't really matter. I just be wanting a good end to the season. And Port get the win, so they'll be keeping themselves in the top 4. Next up, we've got Carlton Saints. Saints will be wanting to win to get themselves into the top 8, and Carlton will be wanting to win to get themselves up into the top 4. It's a good game. And Carlton win it, give themselves a chance at top 4. Saints are out of finals. Here we have Richmond and Gold Coast. So this is a fight for 8th on the ladder. Good game. And Gold Coast Suns win away from home at the MCG by 54 points. So Sunnies jump up to 8th and that guarantees them the spot. Okay. Geelong West Coast. Geelong will be wanting the win to get themselves up into the top 4. Okay. This is how the ladder finished. We have Sydney Swans in first on 18 wins and 5 losses. Collingwood in second on 17 wins and 6 losses. Port in third with 16 wins and 7 losses. Carlton in fourth with 15 and 7 losses. Geelong in fifth with 15 wins and 8 losses. Melbourne in 6th with 13 wins and 10 losses. Essendon in 7th with 13 wins and 10 losses. Essendon in 8th, rounding out the top 8 with 12 wins and 11 losses. So that rounds out our top 8. Let's have a look at the stats for the season. So most goals was Max King, closely followed by Eric Hipwood, who was only 1 goal behind. Most disposals for the season was Brad Crouch with 662. Most marks, Harry Himmelberg and Mitch McGovern with 89. Most tackles was Sam Sukowski on 96. Clearances was Callum Mills on 90. Most kicks was Brad Crouch with 376. Most handballs, Brad Crouch with 286. And most hit-outs was Ryan Marshall on 850. Okay. Getting to first qualifying final between Sydney and Carlton at the Sydney Cricket Ground. And Sydney win by 33, 95 to 62. Luke Parker with 31 disposals, Adam Chera with the most for the game with 32. Tom Papley kicked 3 goals, Logan McDonald 2, Joel Amartey 2, and James Rowbottom 1, with George Stewart, Harry Mackay, Lockie Fogarty all kicking 2, and Charlie Kerno kicking 1. Qualifying final number 2 is Collingwood and Port at the MCG. And Port win it by 3 points, having a strong third quarter to give them basically the win. Jason Horne-Francis had the most disposals with 33, and for Collingwood was Jordan DeGarby with 29. Highest goal kickers were Charlie Dixon with 5, Sam Pepper, Mitch Georgiades and Willie Rioli with 2, and for Collingwood was Bobby Hill with 4, Brody Myercheck with 3, Jamie Elliott and Lockie Schultz with 2. Okay, so in the first elimination final is between Geelong Cats and Gold Coast at GMHBA. Gold Coast Suns get a surprising win over Geelong by 20, kicking 4 goals 2 to 2 goals 2. Mitch Roses had 32 disposals, most for the game, and for Geelong was Mitch Duncan with 31. Goal kickers was Ben King with 4, Humphrey and Jack Lukosius with 2, and Mitch Roses with 1. And then for Geelong was Brad Close with 3, Zach Tui, Gary Ron and Jeremy Cameron with 2. Okay, the second elimination final is between Melbourne and Essendon at the MCG. And Essendon win it with a strong end to the game, kicking 6 goals 5 to 2 goals 1. Major Bull winners was Darcy Parish with 29 and Ed Langdon with 26. Most goal kickers was Jacob Van Rooyen with 4, Max Gore with 2, Harrison Petty and Shane McAdam with 1, and then Carl Langford with 3, Nick Cox with 2, Peter Wright with 2, and Todd Goldstein with 1. Okay, this is what the finals are looking like. So we got Carlton and Gold Coast at the MCG, Collingwood and Essendon at the MCG. Sydney have gone through to the prelim and Port have gone, semi-final, I think. Prelim. Okay, first semi-final between Carlton and Gold Coast at the MCG. And Carlton win it by 21 points with a pretty even game throughout. Carlton came home with a win in the end, finishing off the game well. Most disposals was Matty Rao with 41. Next closest was Noah Anderson with 30, and for Carlton was Patrick Hitz with 25. Most goal kickers was Jesse Motlop with 3, Kyle Marchbank, Harry Mackay and Charlie Kono with 2, Ben Humphrey, Jack Lukosius with 2, Sam Lemons and Ben King with 1. Into semi-final number 2 is between Collingwood versus Essendon at the MCG. And the winner will be Essendon by 27. Essendon coming home strong to secure the win. A surprising upset, I would say. Most major ball winners was Jai Caldwell with 34, and for Collingwood was Tom Mitchell with 23. Most goal kickers was Brody Mychek with 3, Bobby Hill with 2, Tom Mitchell and Jack Criff with 1, Nick Cox, Peter Wright, Carl Langford with 2, and Ben Hobbs with 1. Okay. Prelim number 1 between Sydney and Essendon at the SCG. And Sydney win by 23. Essendon tried to come back in the last quarter but just couldn't get it done. Most disposal was Taylor Adams with 29, Chaddy Warner with 29 as well. Essendon was Xavier Jesmo with 25. Leading goal kickers was Oliver Florin, Joel Amati, Tom Papley and Hayden McLean with 2. For Essendon was Nick Caddy, Jay Gresham with 2, Todd Goldstein and Jake Stringer with 1. Prelim number 2 is between Port and Carlton at the Adelaide Oval. And Port win by 13, having a strong third quarter and end to the second quarter. And just playing at home in the last quarter with Carlton with a strong finish. Most ball winners was Lockie Jones with 36, and Carlton was Adam Cherry with 26. Leading goal kickers was Charlie Kono with 4, Harry Mackay with 2, George Hewitt and Jesse Motlop with 1. For Port was Lockie Jones and Willie Rioli with 3, and Charlie Dixon and Georgie Ardis with 2. So the grand final will be Sydney versus Port. This is, I'd say, pretty unlikely, but you never know. So let's get into it, see who can win. And Port Adelaide get up by 8 points, having a strong end to the second quarter, basically winning them the game. Major ball winners was Callum Mills with 33 and Connor Rozee with 30. Leading goal kickers for Port was Tom Marshall with 4, Jed McEntee with 3, Jeremy Finlayson with 2 and Lockie Jones with 1. And for Sydney was Isaac Heaney, Hayden McLean, Brandon Campbell and Brodie Grundy, all with 2. Okay, so the season ends with Port Adelaide winning the grand final, which could be possible this season looking at them, but I'd say unlikely, but never know. Okay, Brownlow was surprisingly, Mason Cox. Was not expecting that. Followed by Paddy Cripps and Tom Green. Coleman was Max King with 53. And All Australian was Zach Tui, Ollie Lauren, Hayden Young, and Darcy Wilmont as the defenders. Key defenders were Sam Collins and Caleb March. Midfielders were Brad Crouch, Jason Horn-Francis, Jack Viney, Tom Green, Patrick Cripps. Ruck was Mason Cox. Forward is Dylan Moore, Nick Holman, Will Hayward and Charlie Spargo. And then the key forwards were Jesse Hogan and Jeremy Finlayson. So that basically wraps up what AFL 23 predicts the grand final winner to be. And they predicted Port Adelaide. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.